Now, our weekly segment, and the foe is going to be Bret Hart, who you had some matches with in WCW, and certainly you two were often compared during the course of your primes. Now, you've been mostly complimentary of Bret, but sometimes critical. Looking back, what are his pros and cons as a performer?
He's a master technician, but I just like I say, he's a great worker. I didn't think that he is charismatic in his appearance, his look, and all that. I didn't think his interview was that charismatic, but it had nothing to do with his in-ring work. He was a great worker. He was critical of me, saying I was repetitious, and I would say to him, which he's very outspoken about. I'd say, well, when you wrestle someone for an hour every night for 10 years, you're going to have to repeat something. And that finish of his was 4 moves. If that's not repetitious, I don't know what it is.
Oh, wait. Now, let me see if I have this right, okay? Inverted atomic drop.
Yep.
Backbreaker.
Yep.
Russian leg sweep.
Yep.
Elbow drop from the second rope.
Yep.
Sharpshooter.
Yep.
Now, that's off the top of my head. So don't get me wrong. I think Bret was a fabulous worker, but if we're talking repetitive, well, pot, meat, kettle.
And you know what? Every time he did it to me, it worked. He won.
No question. That's true. I remember.
Yeah. I wish I could tell you that I've ever beaten Bret Hart. I can't.
Well, I'm a fan of Bret, and I think his work in the ring.
Go back to that picture right there. Go back there. Look at that punch he's throwing. But Bret's got the whole package.
Oh, no question. No question.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm a big fan. You mentioned his charisma level in promos. I actually give him probably a bit more credit because I thought his interviews were very earnest. I thought they came across very serious.
I agree with. I said they weren't as charismatic. That's a different word, but it's serious. It's serious.
Well, the reason why his promos were like that, Rick, and I don't know if this is good or bad, but I don't think any wrestler has ever taken himself more seriously than Bret Hart did.
Oh,
and I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's the truth. Am I right?
I would say so, yeah. Well, we all took ourselves serious, but I played a clip this week where the way I started, I said, so you're the guy that says he is the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. Because I could crack Bret up cutting a promo on him because I could just, we had really good chemistry when we were talking, right? I tweeted it out this week, that one from whatever, 20 or 30 years ago, where you're the best there is, pal. And one time I said to him, well, you were in a dungeon in Calgary. I was wrestling Brody in Singapore, and the natives were restless for an hour. So,
well, again, getting back to Bret's work, he was really smooth. I thought the best part of his repertoire were his transitions from offense to defense, to offense, from move to move. I thought he could work with any size and caliber of opponent. He was very much like you in that he could make inferior opponents look very good.
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, but see the difference? The only thing that philosophy-wise is like, and I'm used to using one person as an example because he more than anybody else. But I've done it with Sting. I've done it with Homer. I never saw myself suplex an Undertaker where Bret just had to suplex him. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Bret had to quote unquote do the impossible, even if maybe in context it didn't make sense.
It didn't, because if the Undertaker is in character, he's going to take a suplex and sit right back up, right?
Right.
Boom. So if I gave the Undertaker a ball shot, which I used to say to him, sell this, he goes down, right? Or when Arn gave him the spine buster, right? in Toronto. And then when he sits up, I mean, it's the reaction from hell. It's you've got to be in the ring with him to feel that. Because every time you think you have the guy, right? It's insane. The guy was so damn good, and what a hell of a worker. I saw no reason to ever suplex him.
Well, I remember when the Road Warriors first came on the scene, and they would take like somebody's finish and pop right back up.
Yeah.
And it got a huge pop, but it killed the move forever.
Yeah, but Joel would listen to reason. Not so much Mike. Mike was hard to convince of something different.
Now, Bret beat you for the WWE title in 1992 on a dark match at a TV taping in Canada. Why was it a dark match? And it kind of came out of nowhere too, didn't it? I don't think many people were expecting a title change.
Well, what happened was the night before, wrestling with Barkley in the front row, the Ultimate Warrior dropped me on my head on a vertical suplex. And I lost that. I got that inner ear thing. So when I went to the floor, I rolled up and I went to get up and I fell down. I went to get up again and fell down. And I thought I was having like a stroke or something. And what it was that I had broken a little chip off in my ear canal in the way that's like oil. The little chip was going back and forth. And so it lasted for 6 months. I mean, I went to the Mayo Clinic, Duke, everywhere with my dad, plus my dad being a physician. And that it just didn't heal. So I called Vince and he said, get to Calgary. And the reason the match was so bad is because I had no equilibrium. The match sucked because I've never had a chance to tell this story, I guess, publicly, but yeah, I had no equilibrium because I went home for 6 months after that.
And it was a short match too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I couldn't. In other words, if Bret slammed me, right, or gave me a backdrop, right, I had to lay there for a minute. I couldn't just get up and feed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you had to collect yourself. Kind of had to collect
not collect myself, but I couldn't get up. I'd fall over.
Your balance had to be reestablished.
Yeah, and I had that for 6 months, and then one day I woke up and it was gone. I banged my head against the wall 5 times because I was going to get a Lloyd's of London check. Tax-free, $750,000. And I called my dad. I said, Dad, it's gone. So I said, I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to get my check. He said, that's karma. Don't do it. And I didn't get it. I went back to work. $750,000, tax-free.
Well, your wives would have got it anyway.
Oh, wow. That's right. At least half.
Your dad was right on the money. He knew what was ahead. Now, you know what? You said something earlier that kind of struck a chord. I think you're right. I don't think you ever beat Bret.
I know I didn't beat. Who did I beat?
Well, you beat a few,
who did I beat?
Well, you beat Sting a couple times
with the help of 5 horsemen.
Well, they don't say how, Nate. They say how many.
I never beat Dusty.
Oh yeah, you did.
No, he tripped over Gene Kiniski. Or that was Harley who tripped over
Harley
Gene.
Who tripped over Gene, yeah.
No, he tripped over Pat O'Connor, not Pat O'Connor, Lou Thez.
No, it was Gene Kiniski.
No, Lou Thez. For me and Dusty. Me and Dusty in
Kansas
Kansas
City. That's right.
He tripped over Lou Thez. So I never got a clean win. It was always with an assist.
well, but I don't think you ever beat Bret literally, which begs the question, how often did you work with Bret? Did you guys ever do like a loop in WWE? I know you worked with him a few times in WCW.
Here's the deal. Oh, the loop in WWE? Oh, yeah. Bret and I did a couple hours. Yeah, I love wrestling Bret. It was a night off. No, here's the story. So Bret comes and I see an opportunity. So I go to Eric. I said, Eric, I want to put Bret Hart over. He said, really? He said, you think I'll be good? I said, well, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, yeah, that was Bret's first match ever in WCW.
I know. In Dayton, Ohio. We stole it. And you know what? We walked out of the building and Randy Savage was screaming, God damn it. You went too long, man. What the hell's wrong with you? I said, fuck you, Randy. We just fucking stole the show. Go out and follow that. That's the way the business was back then, man. I'm not, when I got a guy like Bret Hart that can work and is taking care of me and give me superplexes and all that, well, I'm not going to listen to anything Randy Savage says to me.
Well, do you think Bret made a mistake going to
people don't like it when you're better than they are. That's just all there is to it.
Well, right. When you're the best ever, nobody likes you. I know that.
Yeah. But I mean, that was the deal. It was like, you know, it finally came time for me to beat Randy in Dayton, same place, Dayton, Ohio. Randy, his dad's there. It's Father's Day, and I walked back in, and Bischoff said, I was on the booking committee. He said, you're not here anymore. You're done.
Say it again.
because I held Randy to his word. I said, I'm going to do this, put you over here, put you over there. When we get to Dayton, Ohio, you're going to put me over.
And he wouldn't do it.
No, he did put me over, but they fired me the next day. They fired me that night. I walked in, and Eric, instead of Eric going, "Hey, great match," he said, "You're fired from the booking committee."
Wow, I never heard that story.
Well, I got a lot of them. That's why we're on the podcast. What else do you want to know? What else do you want to know?
Well, did Bret make a mistake going to WCW, even though he got more money?
I want to bring it to you. Do you realize that in Daytona, Florida, I had already beaten Leon by myself for the World Championship, right? In Dayton and Daytona, Florida, they booked me and Arn against Leon. He beat us both.
In a handicap match?
Handicap match.
Wow.
Yeah. He beat us both after I'd already beat him in a single match. That's how little. Why do you think Arn and I cracked and drank every night? That's what Bischoff did to me and Arn.
Well, I think drinking every night can be its own reward.
No, but you don't remember that match?
I do, but I mean, it kind of all runs together after a while. It's so long ago.
Vader beat me and Arn.
Well, if it made you drink, I can't complain because I was probably drinking with you.
No, but I meant how ridiculous is that? We did it. We just did it. We were just cannon fodder.
Well, getting back to Bret, did Bret make a mistake going to WCW even though he made more money?
Well, for me, I opened my arms to Bret because I thought I made our company better. But I don't know what happened. It's not a political thing, and I don't know enough about it. That's one thing I'm going to try to clarify to you. If I know for sure what I'm talking about, I will. I just know that he made more money, but as excited as someone like me was to see him come there were other people that weren't. Even though to him they said, "Oh, come on," you know what I mean? So
no question. I'll let
you read between the lines.
Well, I'm not sure he was ever used properly, Nate. He came in, he was a referee first, and I guess that had something to do with his no compete. And then, see, I would have brought him in with a replica of the WWE belt and had him be the real world champion because he never lost the Montreal thing. I would have done the same thing WWF did with you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I say, I was glad to see him there, and I only got to wrestle him that one. I wrestled him twice, once on TV and once in Dayton, Ohio. But to answer your question, in '92, I wrestled Bret all around the country. It was great. I loved working with him.
Do you believe Montreal was really a screw job, or do you think Bret was in on it?
No, I think it was a screw job. I know the whole story. Yeah, but
we've been told the whole story. You don't think there's any possibility Bret was in on it?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, let me tell you something. If something that is you're part of, you don't let torment you. Okay, I wasn't part of this giving the man thing away. It torments me. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean because Bret has carried it around like a disease since.
Forever. It created so much ill blood. I mean, there's so much to it that I could talk about, but I'm not going to go there. But that isn't something you're in on that torments you. Forget the money. Using myself as an example, forget the money. I worked my ass off, and I owned the trademark to be the man. The next day, I know I'm going on again. They stopped selling that shirt to be the man and just started selling the man. It's unethical. It's actually illegal by my contract. Think about it.
Well, again, victory is yours, Nate, and that's in the rearview mirror now. Yeah. But it's good it got resolved the way it did.
I'm following up with Randy. I'm sure that I'm sorry, Bret. I'm sure he wasn't part of it because it wouldn't have tormented him for so many years.
No, that's actually a very valid point. Now, you touched on this earlier, but do you believe Bret is in the top 5 of all time, top 10 of all time, top 20 of all time? Where do you think he fits in?
Top 10.
Top 10?
Yeah.
There are some who think he's the best ever, period. And I don't think he's far from that. But like the guys in FTR, they swear by Bret. But I think sometimes it's a matter of who you grew up watching and who influenced the
Yeah,
way you worked if you're in the
yeah,
business.
yeah. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I can't argue that Brett's not the best of all time. I can't tell you why someone would say I was either. I once again, I think that I just, no pun intended, I brought a lot of flair. I mean, how many guys have got trademark sayings? From "To Be the Man," "Limousine Riding," "Jet Flying," "Styling," "Profiling," "Diamonds Are Forever." They're all trademarked. They're all mine. What other wrestler has those?
Oh, nobody. But Nate,
But
I'll give you an example.
that's why I'm relevant today.
No
Not because
question.
not because of anything I did. What I'm relevant today because of all that shit I thought up and said time and time again back in the '80s.
Well, I'll give you an example of the argument for Bret is the best ever or one of, okay?
Yeah,
Because I think you can make the argument that Bret is top 10, top 5, maybe even best ever,
yeah,
like Dax and Cash think he is. One thing I loved was in WWE when Bret was a heel in America
yeah,
and a babyface in Canada.
yeah. No,
I
see,
have never
no,
seen
look, right.
babyface receptions like Bret got in Canada.
Yeah, let me just touch on something. If that hadn't been done in Montreal, it might not have hurt him as bad. But
Oh, no question.
he took that Canada stuff very serious.
No, he thought he was a Canadian national hero, and maybe
Yeah.
he was at some level.
Well, to me, was he? I mean, to me, you could say Bret Hart in Canada. You could say it Wayne Gretzky. I know you don't want to hear that, but Bret meant that much to wrestling in Canada as much as Wayne Gretzky did in hockey.
I don't think that's inaccurate at all within the context of wrestling.
Absolutely not. He was that famous. It wasn't the Carpentier. It wasn't the Rougeaus. It wasn't Mad Dog Rashawn. I mean, it was Bret Hart. And I've said that before publicly. I mean, if he, don't know why I wouldn't appreciate a comment like that.
Now, one thing we have to go back a few episodes ago. We talked about brother versus brother feuds and why they don't work and the exceptions. And we totally forgot about Bret versus Owen, which we got a lot of feedback on Twitter. How can you forget that? I don't know. I don't know how we forgot that. That might be the greatest, most believable brother versus brother feud ever.
I didn't see any of it. Isn't that sad? I did not see any of it.
What, you were in WCW at the time, correct?
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
take my word for it. There were very few guys, the quality in the ring and out of Owen.
Yeah, I've only met Owen. I met Owen in passing one time. So I just, I was devastated when I heard that news. Boy, that was.
I'm the same. I met Owen when I was with WCW. I met Owen in passing at an airport.
Yeah, well, he was very highly thought of and loved by by the people that knew him. So it's just a terrible, terrible situation. And I'm, like someone can bring up my son to this day. It's been 13, it's been 7, it's been 9 years, right? But I'm sure every time his name Owen's name comes out of someone's mouth, and that Bret he probably falls apart like I do sometimes.
No question. Owen was a very memorable
Yeah.
performer and person.